Hello and welcome to another Demon 212 PSN PS1 review. Today I'm going to be taking a look at Disney's Hercules, which I might as well just explain before I lose any credibility I had as to why I bought a kids game. I was a kid when I got it, I loved it, and I wanted to relive some of my childhood, like pretty much every reason why I buy a retro game really. Loved the film, still to be fair, do love the film, and thought I'd get the game when it came out. Sorry it took so long for the review to be fair. So at the start here you've got the usual stuff. You can start game, you can choose passwords because it's got password saves, it's also got hard saves, hence the load game. Options, you can choose things like controls, sound, lives and difficulty. The scenes from the movie, as you can see here, thankfully you can skip them. I say thankfully because it's almost as if they've taken the footage from a dodgy pirate copy or something, because you look at the DVD or even the VHS when it came out, because that's what I had originally. Yes, I used to indeed have tapes. I haven't always been of the CD and DVD generation, and Blu-ray to be fair now. But you look at the DVD or VHS quality and then you look at the quality on the game and it's just terrible to be fair. The sound quality's off, the picture quality's fuzzy, the screen's shrunk down for it, and it's just one of those things that, as I say it, it's almost as if they just took the footage straight from a pirate copy. So anyway, this is basically the first mission. It's the training mission, and it's the most infuriating mission on the game, because as much as I love the voice acting and how they actually got the voice acting, it was a case of they actually just took samples from the game, and it gets a little tiresome hearing Danny DeVito slagging you off for about 15 minutes of the first level. I say 15 minutes because there's certain sections where the game just doesn't want you to pass. Unfortunately, it's one of those types of games where, as I say, there are just bits that it will intentionally throw annoying things at you. Like there's very near the end of the level on this one of the training mission, there's a section where you've got to leap from like wooden stick to wooden stick. You've got to spin round and leap from the stick to stick. That's fine, but then you get an infinite supply of enemy crows coming towards you, and every time one hits you it knocks you off the stick and you have to start again. And it's one of those things that the game is very cheap in places and it will annoy the hell out of you as well. So I'd really only recommend this for absolutely hardcore fans and people who've got money to burn and thought, well, I kinda liked it back then so I might like it now, or hell, maybe you, like myself, did enjoy it back then even though it was full of infuriating bits, because the game is rock hard, but only because of the fact that it's like cheap, as I say. But anyway, being Hercules, you're a demigod, you've got all sorts of wonderful things that going for you. You've got super strength, you can pretty much jump higher than regular humans, although obviously as you don't play as regular humans you can't really notice it. You can use your sword, and you can get all sorts of special swords, like a lightning sword, which to be fair I should be about to get. You can get like this pulse kind of sword, a fire sword, just really cool power-ups. You can also get a helmet that makes you invincible for a little bit while you're wearing it. And the swords and the helmet basically appear in the top right corner, and to be fair, there's the lightning sword, and you get limited ammunition for them. That's basically the orange part of the top right corner. When that goes down, then it'll basically run out. So there I've got like maybe a third of a sword here, and just using it to do that, it's slowly draining. But the swords are still really useful even though you only get limited ammo, and it just means that you basically have to save them and use them wisely. Every now and then you'll get a checkpoint in the form of him. I can never remember the name. I used to be really good at the Greek gods, and now I just can't remember them to save my life. I think that might be Hermes. But every now and then, as I say, you get a checkpoint, and you also might notice some other things going around, like, oh, well, there's the crows for one. Anyway, as I was saying before my phone went off, there's all sorts of things hiding all over the place, like secrets and stuff. There's coins that you can collect, and you get a rating for collecting how many, like for a certain amount of coins and that. There's also, as you might have noticed, letters, and there's one there, and basically if you spell out Hercules on a level, you'll get extras at the end. And to be fair, there was 2 levels in there, and that was also obviously one of the secret areas, so apologies if I've spoiled that for anyone, but basically look for cracks in the floor and that, and then you do that super jump, which quite simply all you do is you jump and you hold down. Oh, there's the helmet as well, so I can show that. You just basically turn kind of invisible, and it means that you can go straight through the enemies. Very useful, especially for the bits where it likes to just screw you over. You can get those little bottles of Herculade, which are health. You can also get vases, which are basically, if you get all them, then you get the password for a level. Doesn't really matter if you're playing it on the PlayStation, because you should have the ability to save, because just create a virtual memory card. Obviously, if you're playing the PlayStation original and you haven't been able to track down a memory card, then you're going to be wanting to look out for those vases, or vases, or whatever you want to call them. There's also then little Hercules action figures which increase the amount of health you can have, and that's pretty much it for the collections. Going back to the powers, you've got this super punch here, which means you can smash things out the way, and well, to be fair, that's pretty much everything to say about the powers as well. So now we'll cut on to the to be fair, it's probably the second level of the game, but it's the first real level because it's just a different style of gameplay. And obviously you get bosses and that, but this is the level I'm about to show is actually a, well, it's kind of like a running head-on into traffic type thing.
Come on, kid, concentrate.
So there we go. This is the first type of level like this, and there's basically other levels like this as well. There's one where, for example, you're running like this to get the Cyclops to rescue your lass, who at the time you don't know is evil. And again, sorry if that's a spoiler, but it's one of those things you can kind of see it's coming. And to be fair, she's not even really evil, she's just being used. You can get different power-ups on this section. For example, as you just saw there, there's trainers, sneakers, whatever you want to call them. You get them, it means you can run super fast, or you can run through boulders if you hit them. You've still got the usual stuff to collect though, like coins and Hercules and the vases and the letters to spell out your name and stuff like that. But it's basically, the whole point of this is to run, make sure you time your jumps right on this section, because if you fall and smash into something you'll get hurt, and also just make sure that you don't hit other things as well. So pretty standard. Once you've played it for about 30 seconds you know really what you're going to be doing, and thankfully there's not too many of them in the game, because they can be very annoying, because it's one of those things, obviously on levels, if you miss something you can always go back. On this, if you miss something you have to start again if you're going for the perfect ratings. So anyway, on to a boss fight. Well, this is the Medusa boss fight. Basically the bosses are, as you'd expect, also from Greek mythology. So, for example, Medusa, Hydra, Centaur, pretty sure the Minotaur's on there as well. Although, to be fair, I can't remember if he's actually a boss or if he's just in it. But the whole point is, for Medusa, you basically go around killing enemies, and then you have to make sure that you, well, use the mirrors that are all around the pillars to fire her beams back at you and just hurt her and that. So boss fights are pretty standard, and I'm just going to shut up for a little bit because I'm about to die through talking while you listen to some of the music, which is straight from the film again, and hopefully kill Medusa.
Here's looking at you, Medusa.
So there we go, that was a bit of the music and only a bit of Medusa, because I forgot she's the one that's actually really boring to play and watch, and instead I decided to show off some of this, which is almost like a side-scrolling shooter style level. It's really cool, and as a side-scrolling shooter I actually think it works really well. It's a shame that they didn't then make a sequel where it was just like this, because basically you've got your sword and you can't really use projectiles unless you get the power-up, so the projectiles are actually an extra, whereas obviously on normal shoot 'em ups the projectiles are as standard and you can just upgrade them, whereas this, your sword's standard and you've just got to be careful and avoid things and whack things, and then you can get your swords like your lightning and your fire and that to just help out. There's then little boss section things like that where you fight that, and started the footage at the wrong time when I had knee energy, but that's basically the style of level. There's 10 levels in the game, I think it is. It might be 11, I can't remember if it's with, like, if I'm including or not including the training with that count. I couldn't remember which one I've wrote down for, so there might be 11, but I'm pretty sure there's 10, and it's one of those, I still actually think the game's fun. Even now I'm enjoying it, so yeah, maybe nostalgia, but I do actually think it's a fun game. It's got its faults, graphically and like sound wise it sounds and looks a bit naff, and as I say there are some parts where it's just really cheap, but it still is an okay side-scrolling platformer, and like with sections like this, side-scrolling shooter to be fair. But yeah, that's pretty much everything there is to say on them. So there we go then, that's been the review. I hope you've enjoyed it, or at least found it helpful. You might have noticed I didn't score the game. Well, that's because it's a matter of personal opinion, and yours may very well differ from my own. I'm just here to show you a bit about the game. If you like it or not, well, that's up to you. If you don't like it, or you do like it, feel free to comment. Also, if I haven't answered any of your questions that you may have had, I might have forgot something, or it might just be something obscure. Again, feel free to comment, ask, always willing to help out. Otherwise, if you don't like commenting on YouTube, head over to www.vc-forums.com, where you can chat with me and a bunch of other lads who love the VC, the WiiWare, and hell, even a lot of other systems. We cater to pretty much everything. You can just go there, have a chat about a game, ask about some games, etc. So until next time, this has been Demon212, signing off.